Let's make a CLI in JavaScript in under 2 minutes. Let's start by creating a directory for our new application. In this case, I'm calling it my CLI. Let's cd into that directory, and then create a default package.json file through npm. Let's also create an index.mjs file. We're using the .mjs extension because we want this file to use the module JavaScript syntax. Finally, let's install some dependencies. We'll be using yargs, which is a CLI helper, and then isomorphic fetch, which will allow fetch in Node. Okay, we've got our project scaffolding complete. Let's write some code. The first line of our index file is something called the shebang. This essentially is a line that tells the rest of the program what kind of language to use. In this case, we're using Node. Let's also import our dependencies. I'm importing isomorphic fetch, yargs, and then this hide bin utility from yargs as well. We'll use the hide bin yargs utility to extract the argv. The argv is essentially all of the arguments or all of the variables that are passed through to your CLI. All right, next up, we'll create a self-invoking JavaScript function here, and this is where our main logic will lie. So in this CLI, I intend to grab daily quotes from a API and return them to the CLI. Let's get our quotes using the fetch API from this URL, and then we'll await that response to get the JavaScript. This API returns an array of objects here in this format with a text, which is the quote text, and then the author and the author's name in text. So in our API, we've got our quotes, but in this case, we just want one random quote from that list. So let's go ahead and pull a quote from that array of quotes. And then finally, we'll console log both the quote text and the quote author. And that's all the logic we need for our CLI. Now we have to add one more thing that's very important when you're creating a CLI in JavaScript, and that's to add the bin to the package.json file. So pop open your package.json, and in here, we'll be adding a bin with the script name. In this case, it'll be daily quote with a path to the index file. Now that you've got your bin set up, you can test this locally by running npm link and then running your command. If y'all are interested in the code, I've made it public at this GitHub repo here.